When it comes to the White House, to elections, to presidencies themselves, they always come with a lot of unusual stories, no question. Let's talk about some of the most unusual and how it all plays into this election this time around. Gregg Stebben is with me. He's the author of White House Confidential, the little book of weird presidential history. It is filled with lessons relevant to this year's campaign. Thank you for being with me.
You bet, Poppy.
Good to be here with you in Philadelphia, ahead of a very big week for this city. Let's start with Clinton and Trump and the friendship that was.
Yeah, the friendship that was.
The famous photo
Yes.
of them together with their significant others at Trump's wedding to Melania.
Yes.
It's all smiles. Now, such a different story. This is certainly not the only friendship turned feud in presidential history, is it?
You're absolutely right. And in fact, a very, very famous political battle was between Teddy Roosevelt and his best friend, William Howard Taft. Taft was anointed by Roosevelt to be the president after Roosevelt left. Roosevelt was so upset with the way Taft ran the country, even though Teddy Roosevelt had said he wouldn't ever run again,
Right.
Came back, started his own party, the Bull Moose Party, and ran against his best friend. And let me tell you, no matter what Hillary and Donald say about each other, Teddy and Taft exchanged those kinds of insults and worse.
But Twitter wasn't alive then.
But they have their own, version of that. So there were tabloid newspapers.
Sure.
There were all kinds of ways for that kind of trash talking to go viral. It was just viral at another time.
Donald Trump makes no secret of his wealth, right? He's talked about his net worth many, many times before, but I think a lot of Americans would be interested to find out, and you discuss this in the book. He would not be the richest president ever.
Oh, he would be if he was elected.
He would be.
Absolutely. Well, let's put it this way. If we saw his tax returns,
right,
he would be. But
So let's take the 10 billion number then that he throws out.
Yeah, well, so the richest president ever, when you adjust for inflation, was surprisingly George Washington. Because something that Donald Trump and George Washington have in common is they were both real estate moguls. Washington was very, very wealthy, the wealthiest president ever. Now, if Donald Trump gets elected and what he tells us shows up to be true on his tax returns, he will far eclipse the Washington wealth, because Trump, of course, says he's a billionaire. Washington was a mere millionaire.
A mere millionaire.
A mere millionaire.
Back in those dollars,
Yes.
those days. Look, the main premise of your book, and you talk about the fact that one of the most important jobs of a president is to entertain us.
Yes.
They are the commander-in-chief, but okay.
Also the entertainer-in-chief.
Going with that premise for a moment, as you put it, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are auditioning for the job of entertainer-in-chief.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if you think back to the presidents that really stand out, we've had a lot of them, right? But we only remember a handful. And the handful we remember are the ones that did things that made them memorable. They were, in a sense, reality TV stars even before there was reality TV and even before there was TV. We know Washington was this famous president. We think he was famous because he was president, but he was actually president because he was famous. He was famous before he was elected. He never told a lie. He was first in war, first in peace. He didn't cut down the cherry tree. He was a legendary man. Then he got elected president, and the presidents remember were also people that were legendary. So that is their job, and it doesn't mean they're funny. Donald Trump has humorous moments. He also has very dramatic moments. Hillary Clinton is entertaining in her own way, but this is much a battle about being an entertainer as it is a battle about anything else.
Do you have a call on this election, one way or the other?
I do. I think one of them will win.
Okay, nice call. By the way, if you haven't seen the book, White House Confidential, you're good at marketing, my friend.
Thank
you have
you.
it right up there the whole time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to have you on. Gregg Stebben with us.